Welcome back. Let's now learn how to handle the Keypress events. Right now, we can already close the model by clicking the close button and by clicking the outside of the model also. But usually there is also a third way, that's by hitting the escape key on the keyboard. So this is actually a great use case to learn how to respond to the keyboard events. So here, in order to listen the keyboard events, we still need to use add event listener because the Keypress event is simply just another type of event. Now, keyboard events are so called global events because they do not happen on one specific element. And for global events like keyboard events, we usually list and on the whole document. So, let's write here document dot add event listener and then here display the event itself. There are actually three types of events for the keyboard. They are that key down, the key press, or the key up. Let's write here key up. This one only happens when we lift or figure, basically off the key. Now here the key press is fired as we keep our finger on a certain key, and key down is fired as soon as we just press down the key. Let me show you that the first key down, and this event will happen as we hit any key on the keyboard. Just like before, we specify a function here, and this time let's specify it directly without creating a separate function. So right here function. Actually this function here can be executed for any key press that happens. So and then right here in the block console.log a key was pressed. Let's go to console, inspect and console, and then press here any key. And now I pressed two keys, so further it displayed two keys that I pressed here, and then just renders here what if the key you pressed. But now we only want to close the pop when the escape key only pressed. Before that, I want to show you one thing, basically which key that we are pressing. So let's write here in function parameter e, and then in the console just write e dot key. Then now let's reload. Here type press any key. So here I have pressed that F, that should be displayed in console, and now I am pressing escape, that should be displayed in console. And now yes, H caps lock shift backspace, all should be what we are pressing, that we have to see like this. It should be displayed in this console. Now let's write if key dot key equal escape, then write console.log escape was pressed. Now let's press here escape. So it displayed that escape was pressed. Then and then again press escape. Escape was pressed. This is coming from this E dot key and this is coming from this one. But here what I want is I need to close the modal using escape key. And how do we know that if the modal is currently invisible? If the modal contains the class hidden, it means that it's not visible. And so basically when it does not contain the class hidden, it means that it should be visible. And then that's the condition in which we want to close it. In the last lecture, we discussed about adding and removing classes. From that, we can also check if an element already has a certain class. So, if the escape key is pressed, then we can now check if the modal contains the hidden class. So, for that, let's write here. This is we don't want. Then let's write again we need if statement. If modal dot class list dot contains and then here write the name hidden see that modal dot class list dot contains hidden. It means that the modal is currently hidden. And so in this condition, we actually don't want to do anything. We only want to do is to close the modal if it does not contain the hidden class. So here we can once more invert that boolean value. Here that write boolean value not. Here the not is very important. It means that if the modal does not contain the hidden class, then close the modal. How we close the modal? For that, we can simply call this close modal function. So right here, close modal. This is the function, this close modal function. And then now let's check the result, reload, and then click on this button. Now here it displayed button clicked, and then now click press any key. I'm giving enter. So it displayed here enter and then button clicked. Now I'm giving escape. The pop-up is gone and here it displayed. We pressed escape. And now see that this button clicked here is comes from this line 9. Now I want to remove that. Now let's check again. Press any key and then escape. It's gone and let's see that here we have written that if the pressed key is escape and also if the modal does not contain in the hidden class, then only execute this function to close the modal. And then now we also write this in single statement like this. See that here. Now it reads the exact same way as before. So if the key is escape and if the modal does not contain the class of hidden, then only close the modal. Let's check now again. Then I press T and then escape. Now it is working perfectly. With this, we just finished that our very small project. I hope that you just liked all this. We will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.